fam, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cab and today I'm filming top 7 books that I read this year, and these all 7 books are my most favorite. These are the books that I rated 4 star or maybe 5 star, but these are the most favorite books of this year. This year was very special for me. I did a lot of readings, and all these books I choose randomly. These are not in any particular order. So let's get started with the books. Let's get started with the book that is totally out of my genre, and that is a love story. I'm not a person who reads a lot of love stories, but this one just stole my heart, and that book is To All the Boys I Have Loved Before by Jenny Han. And I have read all these 3 books, but this one is my most favorite, and Lara Jean and Peter Kavinsky are probably my most favorite couple, because they were so cute and the story was so fascinating and so loving that I just fall in love with this story. This book was in lot of hypes, and it was adapted into a Netflix movie, but I think that I should give it a try to read a love story, and I just freaking love this. This was so amazing. Next book is The Hate Yogi by Angie Thomas, and this is mainly based on the discrimination that black people are facing living in the white people's country. And this is a story of a 14-year-old girl who just was witnessed of a murder of her best friend, and she was just going through a lot of stress and pressure, but she just learned to fight for the truth and for their livings. And that's why this was the most beautiful story I read, and the combinations of the characters, the family background, everything was so good that I think everyone should definitely check this out. The next book is The Female of the Species by Mandy McNeils, and this was the story that I talked about it a lot, and the character of Alex really impressed me, and I just love to talk about her because she was the most fascinating and beautiful character I have read. And this story was so good that I just keep on reading it again and again, because this was amazing to read such a story with a strong female protagonist. The next book in my list is the JCB Prize winner of 2018, and that is the Jasmine Days by Benjamin, and this is most beautiful book cover I have, and I've already talked about it and made a review video. You can find the link in description below somewhere. And this is the book that I really loved because of its context and the plot that they have made. And I've not read anything like this before because this is mostly apolitical, but this was something that everyone should definitely check. The next book is Miss Peregrines Home for Peculiar Children series, and I have read 2 books in this series, and they have 4 books I guess, and I am loving this so far. Everybody was talking about this, so I just decided to give it a try, and I just love it too. This is so amazing, so fascinating story, and this was something that I never read before, and I can't even imagine how they have read, and Ransom had done a very good job, and it was so interesting that you can't stop yourself while reading first book only. You have to read the second and third, and you must go on, because this was the totally fascinating and amazing story I have read. The last book in the series is The Palace of Illusion by Chitra Banerjee Devakurni, and this is the most fascinating story, Indian mythology, because I am the fan of Indian mythology. I just love to read more and more about it. And this is basically the story of Mahabharata, but it was written in the perspective of one of the main character who was responsible for the war of Kurukshetra, and that is Panchali, who is also known as Draupadi. Every story has a 2 perspective, and it didn't matter that you like the first or the second, but the story never changed, and this is something that just taken me aback. And I have read some mythology from Amish, and they were my favorite, like Immortals of Meluha and this series, and I just loved those books, and that's why I loved it too, and I am looking forward to read more and more Indian mythology. That's it for today, guys. These were my most favorite reads of this year, and I'm looking forward to read more and more good books in the next coming years. And I hope you all have prepared yourself for the new year, and I wish in advance that happy new year, guys. And if you like my videos, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.